Hello there. Welcome back, or welcome. So, True Confessions, I recorded this video, or thought I did, and then it turns out that I did not press the record button. Yeah, so here I am, starting from scratch. At least I have a better sense of what I'm doing now. So, what I'm doing in this video is I am bringing through an answer to a question that was offered up from my email list. So I'll read the question and then we will go from there, okay? So the question that was submitted was, I'd love to know what your guides think about biogeometry and sacred geometry and the role they are playing and will be playing for the collective. Yeah, I would love to know what your guides think about biogeometry and sacred geometry and the role they are playing and will be playing for the collective. So first of all, what is biogeometry? Biogeometry, I'm reading this, by the way, from a website. Biogeometry is a new field of science that uses specially designed language of shapes, color, sound, motion, and wave configuration to induce harmony into biological subtle energy systems. In summary, biogeometry equals the measurement of the life energy of the earth, including all life systems within it. Interesting. Yes, and so it is composed of the roots geo equals earth, metry equals measurement, so geometry, earth measurement, bio equals life. So that's why it's measurement of the life energy of the earth, including all life systems within it. So that's what biogeometry is. So then let's look at, I know what sacred geometry is, and maybe you do too, but I'm just going to look at the definition because that seems fair. This is from Wikipedia. Sacred geometry ascribes symbolic and sacred meanings to certain geometric shapes and certain geometric proportions. It's associated with the belief of a divine creator of the universal geometer or geometer. The geometry used in the design and construction of religious structures, such as churches, temples, mosques, religious monuments, altars, and tabernacles, has sometimes been considered sacred. The concept applies also to sacred spaces such as, oh boy, temenoi, sacred groves, village greens, pagodas, and holy wells, mandala gardens, and the creation of religious and spiritual art. That's a mouthful. So, oh yeah, I just scrolled down, they're showing a nautilus shell, which is apparently a sacred geometric shape. Geometric ratios and geometric figures were often employed in the designs of ancient Egyptian, Indian, Greek, and Roman architecture. Interesting. Okay, so there we go. There's just our little primer on sacred geometry and biogeometry. So then as far as the question, which is what, it's not my guides that I'm channeling, it's the OE, what the OE what the OE feel about biogeometry and sacred geometry and the role they're playing and will be playing for the collective. Although what I'm hearing is really it's Earth, and the collective, of course, is then benefited from there, but it starts with Earth. Okay. All right. So biogeometry is a, call it a healing art that creates harmony, creates a structure of harmony where there is need. And so, is there benefit for that for Earth? And therefore, does the collective benefit from that? Then sacred geometry, which employs particular geometric shapes and the proportions of those shapes to bring a way of grounding divine energy uh, into a building, into a location. This is something as well beneficial for Earth and therefore beneficial for the collective. Okay, what we're noticing here is with biogeometry, you want to be careful that you do not become dependent upon the tools of biogeometry. They have their place and they offer something in the way of tangibility to the user. And yet, what you want to understand is biogeometry, as with all sacred arts, are not truly reliant on any tools that may have been created as part of some sort of protocol or design for that sacred art. What we're saying is your intention combined with the energy of biogeometry is all the tool that you need. Insofar as sacred geometry, what you'll want to understand is sacred geometry is used in a way to correlate with the earth grid. And so the structure of sacred geometry around earth is as though another sphere, except it is shapes of a geometric nature. And so if you were to look at this, it is as though a 3D rendering of geometric shapes put together as though a puzzle. And that puzzle, that construct, works in tandem with the earth grid to support the earth's energetics. Oh, so interesting. Before I forget, because I'm seeing it right now, that the sphere that's made up of sacred geometry shapes is gorgeous. And it's also, how do I describe this? Epcot Center is reminiscent of that, and reminiscent because, yes, if you look at Epcot Center from a distance, it looks like a sphere, it looks round. And in essence, it is. However, when you get up closer, you can see the I don't know if they're hexagons or whatever they are that create each. It's a series of those particular shapes that are actually used to create the sphere. So it's not as though it isn't a sphere like I have a sphere here on my desk, but it's a light and I can't just pick it up and show it to you. It's not like a ball, like a ball with smooth edges. It has texture to it because of all those shapes that are interlocked to create the essence of the sphere. And that's what the sacred geometry sphere that I'm seeing looks like, except much prettier. This is so pretty. So that's really cool that coordinates with the Earth grid to support Earth's energetics. It's very cool. It's something that I hadn't noticed before. So that's I'll do some more exploring. And I invite you to do that too. And if you're clairvoyant, just look how pretty it is. My gosh, it's pretty. Um, the tools aspect. So the thing is, I totally understand what they're saying about not becoming dependent on tools. And I mean tools like literally like a pendulum or tarot cards, or when it comes to Reiki, for example, don't become dependent on the symbols, on the protocols. You don't have to. If if you are if you're someone who really needs that sort of structure, that's fine. However, what you want to understand is that tools like that can go from being support systems to actually um, to being things that can hold us back from our development in those areas. I haven't used Reiki symbols regularly since around, I want to say 2014. It wasn't my intention to stop using them. It just started happening. It was part of the development of my being an energy healer, a Reiki master teacher, and the way that I was working with that energy, it evolved to a point where I simply was no longer using the symbols or rarely using the symbols. I actually did need to use the symbols a few weeks ago to help somebody, and only 3 of them. And it was actually sort of nice because the symbols are beautiful. They're really beautiful, very powerful. However, again, they aren't really necessary. So don't get all up in arms here if you're, someone who uses them and feels that they are intrinsic to Reiki. That's totally okay. This is my journey. You're on your journey. Okay. Just keep in mind that when it comes to our overall development as energy healers, that being able to color outside the lines can be very beneficial for us, and most especially for the people we support. Okay. On the subject of tools, I actually have a biogeometry tool, actually 2 tools, I guess. This is a charging plate, and this charging plate is used in conjunction with this clever little key. It's just stuck onto my phone. It's just a sticker. Well, it's a sticker, but it's hard, you know, and it has symbols on it. One that really looks like the Choku from Reiki, which is interesting. And what it's used for, this is to help to keep my phone free of EMFs. So all I need to do each day is place my phone on that charging plate for 1 minute, and then any EMFs are taken care of for the rest of the day. So that's something I don't need to worry about. So yeah, so, and it's not, I don't have these because I practice biogeometry. I have them because the person who actually asked this question has a YouTube channel where they talk about biogeometry. I will actually reference her channel in the details for this video, okay? Because she has some great information. She does some really fun experiments using her biogeometry tools, and she's doing some really wonderful work too with essential oils. So yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to be clear about that as well, because I do have a, a little bit of a relationship with biogeometry, but absolutely nothing formal. Like, this is the extent of what I do with biogeometry for myself. Help keep my phone free of EMFs. So, both of these, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead. And so to summarize here, both biogeometry and sacred geometry, yes, they have their place in the support of Earth's overall energetic health. And through that, by extension, they also support the collective. And this is something that we are hopeful more people will look at, both of these sacred arts, because as you are using them, as you are applying them to your own life, there is, as always, a ripple effect. And so others are supported as well. So there you go. Oh, and that's really interesting. And I don't know if it was part of the question or not, but is it seen? It feels like sacred geometry is simply, it's almost embedded in Earth's energy construct. Okay, so setting sacred geometry aside, biogeometry, which is a new science, is this something that going forward will become perhaps more prevalent in the support of Earth's well-being? Yes, there you go. So interesting. So I hope that's interesting. And again, I encourage you to, if you're interested, if you're curious, take a look at the YouTube channel that you'll find in the details for this video. Okay? Thanks so much for watching.